Hello students, this is Shweta Roy. This video is for chapter 1 part 2 our constitution. In this video I am going to explain you the fundamental rights and directive principles. So here we will start with the fundamental rights. Our constitution guarantees certain basic rights to every citizen of India, which are called fundamental rights. It is called fundamental rights because it is fundamental to every citizen's life, as they are the basic rights of the citizens, and therefore it is called fundamental rights. Now these rights protect citizen against the arbitrary and absolute exercise of power by government. We have 6 fundamental rights. In that, first we have right to equality, right to freedom, right against exploitation, right to freedom of religion, cultural and educational rights, right to constitutional remedies. So now we will learn about these fundamental rights one by one. Now the fundamental rights are mentioned under the part 3 of the constitution, whereas the directive principles are mentioned under part 4 of the constitution. If we look into the Constitution of India carefully, we have various parts under which the constitution has been divided. Now in each part we have subparts which are mentioned as articles. These articles are amended by the Constitution of India. Now they are amended by the polling majority in the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, and finally amendment has been passed. Here we have right to equality. Under right to equality we have different articles, and these different articles will cover different aspects. Like here we have article 14 to 18. So according to article 14 to 18, we all are equal before law. There would be no discrimination on grounds of religion, caste, sex or place of birth. There would be equal opportunity in matters of public employment. Now untouchability is abolished and every citizen has access to all public places such as playgrounds, shops, hotels, etc. Now abolition of title is also there. So these are some of the rights on the basis of equality which is given to the citizen of India. Next we have right to freedom. So here we can see we have article 19 to 22. Now according to right to freedom, protection of certain rights regarding freedom of speech, expression, etc. is there. That means a person has right to express his feelings, and the person has freedom of speech. Now protection in respect of conviction of offences. The person also has right to life and personal liberty. That is also right to privacy, and protection against arrest and detention in certain cases. Now here you can see the person has right to form association, also the right to move freely and reside in any part of the country and practice any profession, occupation or business. That comes in right to freedom. Next we have right against exploitation. In this we have article 23 and 24. So here we have prohibition of trafficking in human beings and forced labors, and prohibition of employment of children in factories or hazardous places, etc. Now what are forced labors? Now they are the people who are compelled to work without payment. That means they are working but they are not getting payment. So they are forced laborers or beggar. Now that situation comes because of the poverty. Because of the poverty, people become helpless, and thus the rich people takes advantage of their situation. So to stop this kind of practice, we have right against exploitation. Now according to this, no human trafficking can be done, or no forced labor can be there, and also the children cannot be working in hazardous place or factories. The children who are under 14 years of age cannot work in the factories. Now we have right to freedom of religion, and here we have article 25 to 28. Now here, according to this, the freedom of conscience and free profession, practice and propagation of religion is given to the people. Also the people has freedom to manage religious affairs. They have freedom to pay off taxes for promotion of any particular religion, and it prohibits the religious instructions in educational institutions maintained by the state. That means all the religion is equal in front of the law, and they will be given the same respect. The state will not interfere or not promote any religion which will further raise the discrimination in the people. Also, if there is any educational institutions which is maintained by the state, there no religious instructions can be given, and people have right to follow any religion, any religious affairs they can manage, they can pay taxes for any of the religion, promotion of any of the religion. So in that we have freedom. Here we have cultural and educational rights, and in this you can see we have article 29 to 31, and 31 has 3 subparts. Now according to this, the protection of interest of minorities are there. Now right of minorities to establish and administer educational institutions, saving of laws providing for acquisition of states, etc., validation of certain acts and regulations, savings of laws giving effect to certain directive principles. Now these rights save the interest of minorities. Also the minorities have right to establish and administer their educational institutions, as whether it is minority or whether it is majority, everyone is equal in front of law, and democracy keeps the decision or thinking of minorities also in consideration. So here we have this law for them. Now if they are running and establishing any educational institution, their language and culture also can be preserved and developed. And also these rights giving effect to certain directive principles. It is saving the laws which is giving the effect to certain directive principles. Here we have right to constitutional remedies. Now we have article 32 to 35. Now remedies for enforcement of rights conferred by this part. Now power of parliament to modify the rights conferred by this part in their application to forces, etc. Restriction on the rights conferred by this part while martial law is in force in any area. Legislative to give effect to the provisions of this part. Now these are some of the constitutional remedies. If any citizen feels that their fundamental rights have been violated by the state, they can move to High Court or Supreme Court according to this section. Also, there are some of the restrictions on the right. If there is any kind of martial law is in force in any area, like if we say, we take today's scenario, we are facing the lockdown in the country, and in that if any person asks that I have a right to freedom and I want to go outside and move around in the city, so that cannot be done. That restriction has been made here in the constitutional remedies. That means if there is any such scenario, the restriction can be made on the rights of the people. Also, the parliament has power to modify the rights. Whatever rights are here, they can be modified by the parliament. So here, this is the remedies for the rights which is given to the people, so that the people cannot violate their rights. Now we have directive principles. Now, directive principles of state policy aim to create social and economic conditions under which that citizen can lead a good life. They also aim to establish social and economic democracy through a welfare state. Now, here our constitution gives some directives to the government to improve the condition of the people. These principles help the government to make social and economical reforms, and it works for reducing the poverty of masses and to bring economic and social prosperity of the nation. And these directive principles are mentioned in the part 4 of the Constitution. Here you can see the difference between directive principles and fundamental rights. The directive principles of state policy differ from the fundamental rights. How? The fundamental rights are meant for the citizen, while directive principles of the state policy are meant for the state. Now, in other words, fundamental rights are individualistic and meant for individual citizen, and directive principle of the state policy are socialist in nature and want to establish quality and justice in the society. Hope you all understood all the topics taught in this video. For any questions and queries, you can consult me in the online classes. Thank you.